Mai ka helele'i ia ana o ka ua pa'u pili i uka pu'u pa'u. Kahea kula ka wai i Lahaina lalo. I ola ho'i nā mea ola. Mai pu'u noa, ma mala ho'i. A hiki lo aku i uha i lio. Kahi kaulana o ka nalu o uo. Auhea o kou e nā koa o kou kākou la hui. Nā lama ku o kou kākou po e Hawaii. Nā kama e ha'awi pio ole ana. Ma kahi kaulana ai. O ka ipu kukui pio ole i ke kaua ula. Auhea o kou e nā ohana, nā kupa o lele. E kū mai nei i ka pā he ahe o ka makani pā ma'a. Aloha nui kākou. Eia mākou, he mau lala o nā ohana like ole no Lahaina. He mau ohana ho'i i ho ea. I ke la me keia halawai ko'i e pili ana i ko mākou kaiaulu o Lahaina. Eia ho mākou ke kūpa'a nei i ko paio ana i ko waho, i ko keo puni, i ko lākou make, no ko mākou aina ma Lahaina. I'm standing here today with familiar faces that the Board and Department of Land and Natural Resources has seen, that the Department of Boating and Recreation has seen, that the Commission on Water Resource Management has seen. Ohana that have shown up time and time again, who continue to advocate to protect our homelands and resources of Lahaina. We are the Ohana of Lahaina. We are members of the Lahaina community, and it is our community, our Lahaina community, that knows how to best rebuild and kako'o our old community.
Aloha, my name is Tiare Lawrence. We are Na Ohana Olele, a coalition of community members in Lahaina. Today we call on Governor Josh Green to meet 3 demands for the recovery of the Lahaina community. The demands are: 1, give our community time to grieve. The fire occurred only 10 days ago and many people are still in shock and mourning. The governor should not rush to rebuild the community without first giving people time to heal, especially without including the community itself in the planning. 2, put the community first in any planning process for rebuilding Lahaina. The governor should work with the community to develop a plan that meets the needs of the people. Fast-track development cannot come at the cost of community control. Number 3, we ask the governor to amend the emergency proclamation to ensure that Chapter 92 Sunshine Law remains in full force. This law guarantees the public's right to know about government decision-making and the discussions and information used in that process. The governor should ensure that all decisions about the rebuilding of Lahaina are made in the open and with full participation of our Lahaina community. We need time to gather all of us together to engage in the important conversations that will be needed. And as Uncle Keamoku reminds us, we are a diverse Lahaina community. Our strength is in our ability to come together, to stand together, to work together, strong and resilient. But we need time to heal and to come together. We also need to be involved in the planning process for rebuilding our community. We ask that the governor meet our demands and work with us to create a better future for Lahaina. Come talk to us. Na Ohana Olele is a coalition of community members who have been taking action on many fronts to care for their beloved Ohana, friends, and community. The coalition includes residents who have support of a wide array of individuals, organizations, and institutions. The fire that destroyed much of Lahaina on August 8th was a devastating tragedy. The community is still reeling from the loss, and many people are still displaced from their homes. The governor's plan to rebuild the community must be based on the needs of the people, not the interests of developers. Na Ohana Olele calls on the governor to meet its 3 demands and to work with the community in the rebuild of Lahaina. The future of the community depends on it. Mahalo. I'd like to introduce Kekai Keahi.
Aloha, my name is Kekai Keahi. I want to address the topic of the water and the narrative that's being put out there by land developers and the governor. Just to give you some context, the water usage in Lahaina for the past 100 plus years was solely controlled and monopolized by sugar plantations. At the end of the sugar era, when these companies folded, they left our land desolate of plants. No restoration efforts was made to bring back the dryland forest to maintain our lands. And so what we see now is the outcome of over 100 years of plantation era of farming and practices. Even though the plantations has been gone for the past 30 plus years, Lahaina water resources is still controlled largely by private land companies and purveyors. 75% of the water resource in Lahaina is controlled by private entities. Only 25% is controlled by the county government. So the narrative that West Maui Land Company, Peter Martin and Glenn Tremble are putting out there, that if they had access to the streams, that they would be able to use that to suppress the fires, is false. None of these streams are connected to any county facility or fire hydrants. We feel that West Maui Land Company, Peter Martin, is taking this opportunity during hardship and suffering to take advantage of getting their agenda moving along at the expense of the people in Lahaina. For me, myself, the people of Lahaina, and especially Native Hawaiians, we see this as an opportunity to rebuild this place in the way we see fit, and in a way that takes into account a lot of different aspects, because there's multiple people that live here, but built in a way that is right and that fits our people. Everything that we see here is of a plantation era. And so what we're trying to do is rebuild in a way that will take advantage of community insight and input and design and rebuild. And we don't want to hear the governor's office saying that we have a plan for Lahaina, because none of us ever got to speak to the governor. Your plan, in my opinion, is not the plan. The plan gotta come from the people of Lahaina. My advice is to ask Governor Josh Green and Mayor Beeson to listen to the people of Lahaina, give us a chance to help design and rebuild, and stop spreading that dangerous narrative about the water issue and the hydrants running out of water, and putting it solely on what they say was the activists who helped to restore these streams. Give us the opportunity to help rebuild this town. Don't take it upon yourself. And I think in the long run, you're going to see a Lahaina that is way better off than it was in the past. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Keamoku Kapu.
Aloha kako. My name is Keamoku. I live above Lahaina town, so I see life differently as people see life, looking from the bottom up to where we live. We stand together in unity as a coalition to serve the needs of our greater community, not just our Kanaka community, but everyone, a community within this town. We are hoping that with this coalition, that we can combine the ideas from everyone within this community on the process on how we need to go forward in a healing way, to be assured that whatever happens from this point, that we be a part of that discussion and a part of that sitting at that table. We are hoping that the governor really seeks that mana'o that we really need, so we can rebuild. We are facing with a lot of families, the loss. We're still grieving. We need that time to find closure before we look at where do we go from here. We feel that the government is steamrolling this process without consulting from the leaders of our community. We are hoping that we look at ways of coming together from a bottom to top management system on how we all should be inclusive. The fear for a lot of our community now is what's going to happen. And we're hoping from that, the many, many different people, and we're not just talking about the Kanaka Maoli race, we're talking about everyone that lived in this town. Everyone, that we are inclusive, to come with the idea that will be beneficial for not just us today, but the future generations tomorrow. It's really important for us to look at Lahaina as a legacy and a reminder of positive change. We are still grieving, our community are still grieving. And we need that time to find closure before we go forward, and not just streamlined in the process of governmental rule. Give us time to heal. Give us time to close, to find closure, and be open and allow us to sit at that table so we can be a part of the solution and not the problem. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce Archie Kalepa.
Aloha mai kako, everyone. First and foremost, I want to let the families know of Lahaina that, for the ones that are here, that we mourn the loss. We mourn the loss of our families, our friends, and the community of Lahaina. With that being said, everyone that spoke pretty much covered everything, but what I want to talk about is coming up with a sale plan. And when I say that, it's how our people became part of this place, how this place became Hawaii, and how we became Hawaiians, and how this community became an ethnic, thriving community. I think we have to adopt some core values. And I'm going to keep it really simple. Is you love your family. You take care of your land. And you rebuild your community. In the beginning of time, when our people first came here, those were the values that allowed them to thrive in this place. If Lahaina can have an opportunity to set these plans into action so that we're not sailing into another storm, but we have a true course of knowing where we're going and how we're going to get there. Those discussions absolutely need to be had with these people behind me. It is our job. It is our job to make sure that we adopt the plan. We adopt this traditional sail plan so that when we come out of this voyage of hardship, this voyage of reason, this voyage of who we are as a people, that we're able to represent all. And when I say all levels, both up and down, left to right, and we represent all. It is with those values we can begin to come to the table and feel good about having open, honest discussion. That is the first step to rebuilding this place, is everybody being open, honest, and true to what they want to say in their hearts. That needs to be heard first. That's part of the process. We just want to make sure, as they said, that all of these considerations come from the heart when we sit down on the table. I think it's super important. Thank you.
We're going to finish off by singing a song that is very special to the people of Lahaina. To the media, we will not be accepting questions. If you do want to have an interview after, you can talk to Ho'olea and our consulting media team to set up interviews. But at this time, we're going to share Mele Hawaii. Marvin.
Ikela